Alrighty. So, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero will be coming out. Damn. What? It's July now? So we have. Wow. We're like less than 4 months away. Holy shit. Um, so, what I did was I decided to grab the original announcement trailer for the game because I've been having a lot of thoughts lately, and I've been going through the community and asking a couple questions really to see what other people's thoughts are. And one thing I've noticed is I've been seeing a lot of YouTube videos, I'd say within the last 2 weeks, about the inclusion of GT characters. Now, if you all have already seen the character reveal trailer that we got with the sword and fist, before that trailer was revealed, a lot of people were speculating, hey, we're going to get some GT information simply because this is around the time where the demos basically just came out. We pretty much got as much footage as we could within the first weeks of Summer Game Fest ending. And effectively, the producers were just answering all kinds of GT questions. Since a lot of people were curious about the inclusion of GT characters such as, GT Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Goku. I said Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, Pan, GT Trunks. And I remember I was briefly telling somebody on Reddit, like, well, when it comes to GT, if we're thinking about GT as a whole, right? Not necessarily the full character trailer that they gave us or the character roster that they gave us, but as a whole, we're looking at about 20 plus slots. Now, I'm not really going to dive too deep into every single character, but we can start, but I'll give a basis of my general thoughts. So there's Kid Goku, his transformations. You have Pan, you have GT Trunks, his transformations. GT Gohan, you have GT Goten, and their transformations. Now we then start to divulge into, okay, what about the other heroes? We still technically have Maju. Um, as far as the GT heroes I could think about, I think that might be all of them. And then when we start to talk about villains, we begin to jump into, okay, the Shadow Dragons. But if we're being realistic about slots, we can talk about Omega Shenron. You could talk about Sin Shenron, and then we have Nova and Ice. Outside of them, you have Hellfighter 17, which is the GT version of 17, because if we have the base 17, it's really just a costume change. And then you have Super 17. So then we move on from those two. You can also then include General Rildo. Do I really believe they'll give us General Rildo? Not really. And most importantly, one of the bigger characters that I briefly missed over was Baby. Now, the funny part here is in GT and technically any other Dragon Ball game, we have never gotten Baby's original form, which is the Tuffle form. So we don't really have Baby's original form. Then you can go into Baby Vegeta, which is the original Baby Vegeta. Then Super Baby 2, which is the white hair baby that we all know about. And then there's Great 8 Baby. Now, I've given quite a few different names, quite a few different characters. Most importantly, I didn't sit down and count them, but when you stop and think about the Tuffle variations of not only the corrupted Saiyans, Goten, Gohan, Trunks, you then think about their corrupted Super Saiyan forms on top of that, and then their base Super Saiyan forms. When you really start to look at the full scope of what the GT list could look like, you're like, damn, it's actually pretty huge. Now, I'm not going to be sitting down and pulling up the Reddit thread where I ask these questions, mainly for time purposes, but that's actually why I'm bringing you this original trailer. And let's stop and look at it. So we're looking at the original game. I believe this might be BT2. And what you're going to notice here is that they've actually shown Super Saiyan 4 appear on the screen. He'll be popping up shortly after Super Gogeta kicks all these characters' ass. And here he is right now on the screen. Now, when it comes to marketing content or things that are used for marketing purposes, why would they include Super Saiyan 4 Goku for him to not be in the base game? Solid question. Now, one thing I really do want to focus on here, though, is now that we've already seen Super Saiyan 4 Goku flying through the trailers, you stop and pay attention and notice there's a lot of things that they've revealed that kind of correlates time-wise. So, for example, excuse me, throughout this entire trailer so far, Kid Buu, Super Buu, Fat Buu, Mecha Frieza, and Super Saiyan 4 Goku, none of those characters have currently been announced. I lied. Fat Buu. Fat Buu has already been revealed. So technically, it's only Super Buu, Kid Buu, Mecha Frieza, and then Super Saiyan 4 Goku. So the question is, on the next trailer, out of those 4 characters, based on this marketing material they showed us, who is more likely to be unveiled? Because if we're being honest, Mecha Frieza is a part of Dragon Ball Z content. And they've given us majority of the Dragon Ball Z roster up until this point. I would say the only characters we realistically have not gotten is Babidi. We got Dabura. We got Spopovich. If we're looking at the Buu saga of characters currently. So if we're thinking about the relevant characters who are left for that time frame, I don't know if they've revealed Ultimate Gohan's form yet or transformation yet. But again, there's Babidi, there's Super Buu, there's Kid Buu. I'd say that's about it. I mean, technically, you could throw Oob in there himself. You could. But overall, I find it very intriguing that majority of the characters that we're looking at for this upcoming game, at least as far as this announcement trailer, have already been released. And I mainly go back to this because this is what one of the original comments for my Reddit thread, this is what he told me to look at. And when I saw this, I was like, you know what? You're right, because I did see this. And I will say this. It is entirely probable I could be very wrong about everything I just talked about in this video. But I want to sit down and be honest. How likely is it? How likely is it? Because when we got the Future Trunks, we got Future Trunks with a Master and Student trailer. The third trailer to release, because we had Rivals, we had Power and Speed, and then Master and Apprentice. And that was like April. Something like that. So when I sit down and think about that, and I'm mainly bringing this up because we got Trunks Sword, which is the current Z variation of Trunks, because all the other ones are technically classified as like future or super variants. So my question is, when is Mecha Frieza gonna appear? Because realistically, for Super Buu and Kid Buu, we don't have much time from release. To be honest, Babidi's more of a hit and a miss, and with the previous GT characters that I mentioned, besides, like I said, I believe we're gonna at least get a base GT Kid Goku, GT Vegeta. Those are my thoughts. No guarantees, but I feel very strongly about this. Most importantly, what are we going to get on the next character reveal trailer? Because there's a lot of questions. A lot of people have questions mainly about MUI, Goku, and things like that. But that's not really the goal of today's conversation. It's more so related to GT content. I know I briefly got off and went into like the Majin Buu saga of things. But I believe it's all relevant simply because this trailer has characters we still haven't gotten, and these are base and core characters regarding this series and franchise of game. Even if I were to sit down and go back and look at the previous installments, besides most of the variations of the super characters and them making a few mechanical game changes, a lot of the base roster is relatively the same. As far as, again, Z content's related, I know that they're doing DLC for Super and Daima, and for all we know, they could be really sitting down preparing themselves to go about it in the Xenoverse way. And basically, Xenoverse releases DLC in packs, so characters, stages, music, cosmetics, things like that, just so you can get an idea of how I perceive they may be trying to go about this when we think about content outside of the current Dragon Ball's franchise landscape. So I'm really curious on how they're going to do the rollout for this, but this is, again, not a DLC focused video, but more so focused on the base roster. The GT, the we could say the Dragon Ball franchise, but I'm not really sure if they're going to focus on the base Dragon Ball franchise, with the fact that effectively, to my perception, I believe what they're doing is retelling the original Dragon Ball story through Daima, or that's what they're attempting to do. But most importantly, tell me your thoughts as far as today's conversation regarding GT. Really looking over this original announcement trailer, giving us the Sparking Zero title before they gave us the name, as you can see in the marketing material presented. So please feel free to tell me your thoughts, leave a comment, share with your friends, and honestly, I want to say thank you for watching the video, and please tell me what you guys think, and if there's anything else you guys want me to cover specific regarding the Sparking Zero, let me know. But thank you. Have a good one.